Hey, all work, no pleasure. I ain't here to make friends, big stepper. Hey, bad guy, Heath Ledger. Ready for wherever, I'll be front and center. Don't fly too close to the sun, your body chopped up by propellers. Came in arrogant, but left out in a stretcher. The comparison, y'all know y'all couldn't replicate it. Chilling in the desert, I'm good under pressure. Stick around, let me hold it down. Look at what we found.
Welcome to the official podcast of PHP Architect. Join us to listen to the latest news and tech talk from our conferences, the magazine, and wider PHP community.
All right, you're listening to the official podcast of PHP Architect, and this is episode 2025.02.27. I'm your host, Eric Van Johnson, and with me, as always, is John Congdon.
Hello, hello.
This podcast focuses on all things PHP, web development, and we even touch on the larger PHP community and our general life as PHP developers. Of course, we'll also touch about. I've been asked not to do that anymore by judges. We won't go any further, but we will also talk about our company, PHP Architect, the magazine, and of course, our wonderful conference, PHP Tech. We record every Thursday around 3 p.m. Pacific time. And if you're not here live watching us, if you're one of those after the fact audio podcast listeners, we really encourage you to join the show live. You make the show a little better by jumping into our Discord at discord.phparch.com, and you can participate in the show, suggest a title or two, but more importantly, that Discord is here all week long, filled with some fantastic people in the PHP community, people from PHP internals to your favorite frameworks to packages to just your everyday boots on the ground PHP developers. The podcast is also made a little better thanks to our partners over at honeybadger.io. Honeybadger helps you deploy with confidence and be your team's DevOps hero by combining error, uptime, and performance monitoring in one simple platform. It's simple to get started and sets up in just a minute. Sets up in just minutes. It's probably what I meant to say. Be the hero of your team. Shut up, John. I'm trying to get through this. Be the hero of your team needs. Suit up with honeybadger.io, but more on Honeybadger a little later. I feel
do the thing you do down that way. I need to point like that. Subscribe. Go to youtube.com/phparch.
Yes.
Subscribe, please.
Subscribe, hit the bell to get notified, and all those other fun things. I need to change my intro. I think that's it. Yes, we record every Thursday, except for the Thursdays John decides he doesn't want to record. Welcome back, John.
Decides to or just isn't around to do so. Had absolutely no cell service last week, so I wasn't going to, no matter what you wanted to do, I wasn't going to be able to make it.
You sound weird, John. Are you not using your right microphone?
I am not using
Give me a microphone tap, please.
I will not do that. I've been asked not to do that.
Tap your mic. That's better. I think you're better. Oh, you're a little low now. Are you there?
Yep.
I'm can't hear you now. There you go. There you go. I heard you.
Okay. No, somebody told me that I needed to use my AirPods instead of my big headphones, and I don't know how to use them properly, it turns out.
You should not take advice from people, John. It's just, especially that person. That person's just trying to make you look bad.
Success!
What were you up to last week, John, where you had no cell service? What, were you in the middle of nowhere?
Was in the middle of nowhere. So we talked about how our school district does a little thing called Ski Week. Well, we call it Ski Week. I think the district officially calls it President's Week or something.
Oh, there is an official name. Cool.
Yeah, they don't want to look like they're giving people days off just to go skiing, so they incorporate it into an official holiday and then say, "Hey, you're getting the whole week off." But instead of going skiing, I went to the desert. Yeah, and we did a ton of hiking, and for the most part, had an absolute blast.
Did you camp out or did you?
No.
No. Okay.
Actually, not because we didn't want to. When we first started planning the trip, my wife was looking at the temperatures and it was supposed to be really cold at night. So we decided to stay in a hotel one night and then an Airbnb for the next 2 nights. But it then warmed up and the weather was absolutely beautiful. It was like mid 70s, 80s during the day and only down in like the 50s at night. So camping would have been very doable. But we did not. I did a ton of hiking and then participated with my kids a little bit. They did an excursion. They did an excursion of rock climbing. My one son rock climbs twice a week. He loves it. So my wife got him an outdoor rock climbing tour, I guess. Like this guy took us somewhere. They rock climbed this place for 3 hours. I didn't have any interest in that because my shoulder is crappy right now. But the guy was like, before we left, he said, if you want to, we have this thing we call the chasm of doom. And he goes, if you want to participate, talking to me and my wife, I won't charge you. I'm like,
it's pretty much where he takes people to kill them, you know?
I'm like, all right, I'm in. And he was like, so yeah, that was crazy. You're in these boulders down in between.
I wouldn't think with a name like the Chasm of Doom, it would be anything like weird.
The guy had us like crawling through these crevices in these little tight spaces, and I went through a birthing canal, literally slabs of rock where I barely fit. It was so crazy, but it was at the end it was very fun.
Somehow you get through, you're naked, screaming, crying.
I don't know. He says he goes with his friends and does it at night with no lights on, and I'm just like, I could barely do it while being able to somewhat see things. Yeah, definitely not for the claustrophobic.
That would be an example of somebody I would not want to be my friend.
Come on, Eric, you can do it. All you gotta do is squeeze through this little place, and then, like, by the way, you're gonna go over the edge of this rock.
I can't squeeze between cars. You think I'm gonna squeeze through some rocks? Come on.
You go over this one like edge of a rock, and it's like a 10-foot drop, and you're just trying desperately to find a place to put your foot so you don't fall. I got a compliment though. He says, "Man, you're pretty flexible." I'm like, "Yeah, for an old man." Meanwhile, my body is so sore because it's not supposed to bend like that.
Damn.
It was good.
Cool. All right. Well,
happy to be back. Happy to record again.
Happy to have you back, John.
How was your week?
My week was pretty good. Pretty good. I finally achieved a long-time goal of mine.
What is that?
When we bought our new place, I got a new vehicle that was a pluggable hybrid. So because we were further away from San Diego, and at the time my wife was still working in San Diego and just was, worried about gas, because like my vehicle is a truck and gas mileage on it's horrible, right? So I wanted something with better with
It's a big truck.
Yeah. So I wanted something with better gas mileage, and the wife, especially at that time, wasn't really on board with electric vehicle. She wanted to make sure that she had the option of getting gas if needed. So we did it, and it's worked out because we've now taken that car up to San Francisco and things like that. But I finally got my fully electric car, and I
Oh,
couldn't
really?
be more excited. Yeah. So I'm on board with the full EV experience. It's not a Tesla. I definitely am not going to be doing a Tesla now. I feel bad enough I have Tesla batteries on my house, but that's a different story. But yeah, I got myself a little Volkswagen i4. I think it's an i4. Yeah, it's an i4, which is the Volkswagen electric car. I don't know to tell you. But it's nice. It's fun. It's a different experience for sure. As far as like driving, I mean, like when I got behind the wheel, I kept looking. I'm like, what? Why does this look so? First thing, it looks like a toy. Like it's just like this little monitor. It's like it's not like the fancy cars today that has basically an entire dash that's a screen. It's just like this little monitor. But yeah, I'm driving it for a couple days. I'm like, it's just something's weird. And then it hit me like there's literally no gauges. Like there's no RPMs. There's no oil, there's no temperature, there's no gauges to look at, and it's like the only thing there is something that's telling you your speed, and that's it, and it's all digital. So like I don't know what to do if there's ever a glitch on the thing. Call me old fashioned, but I like my gauges gauging.
So is it a Volkswagen ID4?
ID4, yeah. What did I say? I4, yeah, ID4, yeah.
You went with a little coupe, huh? So
Yeah, it's a surprisingly. I'm a bigger guy, both in height and in width, and I actually fit in it fairly comfortably. Nobody can sit behind us. I mean, it's got a back seat, but like by the time I push it back so my legs can get in, yeah, nobody's sitting behind me. But that's fine. We don't have that too often. But yeah, I'm enjoying it. I think today actually marked the first full week of driving it to the dog park in the morning. So for the first week in a very long time, we haven't needed to get gas. Because typically my truck will go back and forth to the dog park for about a week. And I don't need gas, but I like to make sure I have enough gas to get down to San Diego if needed. So I would always get gas. But yeah, none of that. I have a full tank every morning.
You're allowing your dog into your new car.
It was a struggle because yeah, we did. The dog has had to make some compromises as far as their available space, but yeah, it's a learning experience for all of us. So I like it.
Gotcha.
I'm definitely feeling more. I still don't know. Like I'm even looking if I go too deep into San Diego, like I'm already trying to figure out like where I could charge down there because I go pretty far into like downtown San Diego on not a regular basis, but regular enough where if I want to take the EV and I don't want to stress, I'm gonna have to. I'll probably want to charge down there just because I'm like on a full charge, it gets like 200 miles to a charge, but you don't charge EVs 100%. I think 100% it gets like 210. You only charge EVs at about 80%, just to make the battery last longer.
Mm-hmm.
So, and I'm definitely not at any. I've only been driving it for a week, so I'm definitely not at any comfort level to drive it very far. I just want to make sure I can get home. But yeah, so that's been fun. I think the wife's gotten on board with it too. I think she's appreciating it, which is always beneficial.
Good. How about coding? How's your coding week been?
Oh, dude, don't get me started. Why'd you go? What do you think? What do you think? Do we get together to talk about coding, or can we just be friends?
We can be friends that code.
It's going. We've gotten a few new hires over the past few months. So my actual coding on client work has reduced. I don't know if that's good or bad. I mean, I'm sure that the client's happy. Our team is happy.
I don't think so.
fewer bugs, but yeah, it's going well. I'm noticing now. It's weird, like when we brought Joe in, especially Joe was like the one where I was like, cool, this is going to free me up so much. Like, I'm going to be so less stressed about everything, and I'm not even going to worry about this stuff anymore. But the more, when he got on board and he started getting into a rhythm, the more things I realized I'd been putting off for so long that I wanted to get addressed. And so, like, I've been spending so much time like digging up all these old efforts that we wanted to make sure that we took care of at some point.
Mm-hmm.
To pass them along to Joe. I mean, to be fair, I'm not doing it. I'm not like, oh yeah, I got time to do this now. I'm like, no, this really should have been done like years. Joe,
welcome aboard.
But yeah, in establishing a really good workflow, because I'm very much about not getting in the way, but at the same time, I need to be assured that stuff is getting done and things I need done a certain way are being done that way. So trying to kind of work through that. That's been good. Having somebody focused on sysops just been something I've wanted for so long. I'm getting all choked up. I'm so happy.
I finally got my way. Something I wanted.
I know. Now I'm like already thinking like, what's the next thing I want? Like, I need another mobile developer, need another sysops person, and I think I'm 1 p.m. away from not having to work anymore. I can just do that 2-hour work week everybody talks about. But yeah,
well, if he keeps working as well as he is with trying to reduce the client's costs, I'm sure we could squeeze another developer in there.
That's the thing, right? He's in the best position to show the quickest ROI, return on investment. If you don't know what ROI is, the quickest ROI of anybody hired. Like, he can do things that nobody else is in a position to do. It's just like, oh yeah, I can save you money today. I can shut this stuff down, and
I can save you a lot of money and just turn everything off.
Yeah, we'll turn everything off, and whatever you notice is off, we'll start turning back on. Let's reverse this. That's the biggest thing. Is like it's these old projects, like some of the ones we worked on during COVID, no less, are still, the servers are still pumping out there. And it's like, okay, yeah, I don't think anything else is on that server, but I need to figure out how to get on that server to make sure. But I'm pretty sure nothing else is on that server. And yeah, that's good. I have been doing some coding. My little secret project has been working on a redesign for the very long overdue revamp of phparchitect.com or phparch.com. And I spend so much time. First thing, I've iterated over this thing probably a dozen times, where it's looks completely different than what I started with, and I'm like, okay, that's it. I'm done. I think this is good. This is a starting point for just the UI. Like, there's still the functionality you have to do, but I sent it to John. I'm like, what do you think, John? And John's like, it's better than what we have. I'm like, fuck me. Really? That's all you get? That's all I get out of that. It's better than what we have.
So honestly, it looks great. The reason I said it, one, I was trying to be really quick because I needed to get onto the other topic that we were talking about at that time. So I was like, and I do like it. I would be the same way. Like, I want to change this and that and like tweak it, because there's so many things we want to put on that homepage that it feels overwhelming at times, from the books, the magazine, the blog, the videos, the podcast. It's like, how do you convey everything you want to convey without it feeling overwhelming?
Right. And then, sorry, I didn't mean to cut you off. But like the thing I keep telling myself is I just want to get control over that website where we can do more customization. Like there's so many things so many cans we've been kicking down the road because we're like, I don't want to figure out how to do this in WordPress. This is be a pain in the ass. Let's just move on.
We need to be for many reasons.
Yeah.
Guess what I found out today?
Oh dear God.
Our mailing list subscribing does not work. You put in any email address and it says, please enter a valid email.
Oh, that's awesome.
And
everybody right now, go over to phparch.com and sign up for the newsletter.
I still don't have it working because the API key that was the MailChimp API key that was associated with that is no longer exists. And I tried updating it and it didn't work. So then I was like, well, let me update the plugin. Well, the plugin doesn't work with the version of WordPress that we have. So then I updated our version of WordPress. But then that version of the plugin needs another plugin to work. So that's where I'm at right now is I got to go fix this other plugin for it to work.
So is that why I'm seeing a big white spot here?
Oh, is it white now? Great. That would be why. Yes.
That would be... Damn it.
So I was going to continue working on it, but I was sure someone would be like, where are you at? You're supposed to be podcasting right now.
Yeah, I totally would have. Instead, I'm going to call you out live
that's
on the podcast.
Completely fine.
That's awesome. I love this. I love this about our world.
The good news is WordPress is up to date.
So you got WordPress updated?
Yeah.
Oh, that is actually pretty awesome. Because it was a few versions behind where it was stressful. Matter of fact, we have something we have things that will lead into that. But yeah. So who signs up for the newsletter anyways, honestly. But it would be nice. But yeah, I'm knowing that you have WordPress updated, it's fantastic.
You say who signs up for it. There's an email in our support box right now saying, hey, I recently subscribed, but I always forget about it. Do you send out an email? I'm like, yeah, all you have to do is go subscribe. And it turns out you can't. So I was trying to get that fixed so I could reply to that email. And that's where we're at right now. So
this is all very new stuff you figured out.
Yeah. Well, can I have another confession time?
Oh dear.
Without judgment.
Please. Oh, I'm not going to promise that.
We received 2 emails of, hey, I just resubscribed and I logged in and it says I have X number of subscriptions, but I can't see any of the past issues.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm like, fuck, that's my fault.
What'd you do?
So we're in the process of changing from, in-house subscription management where we have to then go charge cards every month to using Stripe's built-in subscription functionality to automate a bunch of that stuff. When I did it, I was like, oh, let me just mark the user account as having an active subscription. And we'll use that to say, okay, you have an active subscription. You can see the past, issues, and I'm not going to try and manually charge your card. Well, when it comes to when we release an issue, I need to know, do you have a print subscription, a digital subscription, or what? And it turns out that in the past, you could have a print subscription, and when it runs out, when you renew, you can have a digital subscription, and the original print one, the record still exists.
Right. I've seen that in the database. Yeah.
Right. So now it's, oh, you have an active subscription, but which one is active? Crap. So that's what I figured out the other day when we released this month's issue. By the way, the February issue is out prior to the end of the month.
Oh yeah. Yeah. We have hours to go for the day and hours to go for the month.
Yeah. So I'm in the middle of running our scripts that do all the work, realizing, well, crap, I I need to fix this. Let me go download all of our subscriptions from Stripe, and I'll just add an active subscription field to this other table, so I know, okay, you have an active subscription for print, or you have an active subscription for digital only. Yeah, going back to the WordPress thing, the way it works goes through all of our APIs, or goes through a few API plugins, which is a pain in the butt. And somewhere there must be a join on those two tables. And because the active subscription is on both tables, it freaks out and breaks, but I can't find out where. So I had to rename the table or the column to something else so that I didn't have that. Now the site works fine. So yeah, it was broken for a little bit.
That's the other thing is with the way things are configured now, it's so difficult to not do things in production. Like it's I guess if we really take the time, we could spin up a test environment or dev environment locally and be able to do these things, but it's just so many moving parts that it's just not worth it.
So this refactor I am super excited about, being able to do things in one environment, test it, push it, have a deployment process where we know it's being deployed properly, is going to relieve so much stress. And knowing how things work, because the fact I can't go update this API key to make the MailChimp thing work was frustrating.
Yeah.
I even found in the depths of the WordPress tables, changed it, and somehow it still didn't change. And I can't figure out why. I'm assuming it's caching. I just don't know where they have caching built in.
Well, speaking of new websites, it's been a busy week over at Laravel this week. I guess I should cue these. Oh, I did cue those up so you know what I'm about to talk about. Let's talk about first. Laravel 12 was released. Fairly minor, not a minor release. It's a version change from 11 to 12, but not a whole lot going on there. Yeah. So the upgrade path from 11 to 12, pretty minimal, unless you have dependencies. So that's where the matter of fact, the site I'm working on for PHP Architect, I'm like, well, I'll just throw Laravel 12 on here since we're here. And already I have packages installed on that aren't compatible with. It's not that they're not compatible; they just don't know about Laravel 12, and Composer freaks out.
Right, they're trying to be good stewards of. We know it works with 11. We don't want to break if you go to 12, so we are going to restrict ourselves to 11 for now.
Right.
So now you have to wait for them to verify their code continues to work in 12. Yep. Publish an update so that you can upgrade safely.
But also with the release came a new version of Laravel.com. And now listen, I've always said that I am critical of Laravel when there's a time to be critical of Laravel. Well, this is one of those times. So first thing, I'll be honest with you. This website could have been there for the last 3 years. I wouldn't have known it, because whenever I go to Laravel, I'm just looking at docs, which is rat over. Where are the docs? I don't know, John. Let's see if we can scroll and find them. Well, you scroll, and there's just like this thing going on, and now this. And, oh, there are the docs. Wait, well, the docs aren't there. The docs are there. The docs aren't there. Okay. I don't know what this website's supposed to be. It's very, we're a web development shop look and feel. Yeah, I don't know. It's whatever. I guess
the Redux is hidden until you scroll down just a little bit.
Yeah, just a little bit. Yeah. So I'm not sure what they're trying to accomplish. This does not feel very developer friendly. Like very, come here and find out what Laravel's about. Um, I don't know. Maybe it's the old man in me, but yeah, I'm not. It was weird. Like I came here, somebody told me to go to Laravel.com, and of course I go to the docs because that's what Laravel.com is to me. Which, by the way, the docs are fine. They've had this look and feel for a while, but it does default to 12 now. So I come here, I'm like, what? The site looks the same. And they're like, that's not the site. And I came here, I'm like, yeah, I don't know what this is. It's kind of bonkers, but yeah, they have the whole trusted by thousands of companies now. Because if you're looking for an open source framework to adopt, that's what you're going to make sure Marvel's behind it. But yeah, it's whatever it is. Whatever they're trying to accomplish, I hope they're trying to accomplish here. I will never go to the site ever again. I will just live where I belong in the docs.
It's weird that as you scroll, nothing happens for a little bit until you just keep scrolling.
Yeah, I mean the only thing that happens is this gets big, and then if I'm
welcome
this
to Lair.
and scroll. Wait, what? That doesn't get small. It doesn't scroll with me. Like I figure if I start playing it, it would keep scrolling with me and welcome me and maybe even walk me.
Well, this is the part I was talking about, that where you're scroll back down a little bit, slow. Keep going. Where the PHP framework stays at the top. Keep going. It's right here where you're scrolling. I didn't realize that.
You have to keep scrolling.
Up. Yeah, because it's popping that stuff right there, but it's not really scrolling. So it was just a weird experience
it does
for me.
Yeah, that's I didn't even notice that before, because even this. So first thing, getting here, this doesn't load. You have to keep scrolling, and then the things you have to load one by one, showing I guess all the different things here. And then even the next thing, this then pops up.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I don't get it, but yeah, I guess they're just trying to get a lot of information on their landing page. Be a real developer.
Which we realize is hard to do, getting a lot of information onto a single page.
Yes, yeah. I wonder if you can sign up for their newsletter, John.
That theirs probably works.
Exactly. Who are we to talk shit, right?
Very true.
The other thing that
we can still give opinions. Doesn't mean they're valid.
Launched. Did you notice when I shared the link? Did you notice the link, John?
I did not.
It is Laravel.cloud. So Laravel Cloud launched as well this last week. Last week. And I'll be honest with everybody. I would have been more than happy to review this for everyone when it was like invite only thing, but it's not now. Like anybody can join it. It's actually got a free sandbox tier here that everybody can sign up for. Matter of fact, that's what I'm running on. Yeah, it is what it is. If you're curious how good it is, go get on and check it out. I don't know if it's something we would use professionally, just because I'm so weirded out by some parts of it. Like, first thing. So the first thing that caught me off guard is MySQL is like in beta. I forget what they call it exactly, but it's not like the base supported database. It's Postgres. I don't have a problem with that, especially for solutions like this, where I'm not planning on touching the database, but my migrations didn't work. I apparently have something in there for MySQL, and I didn't feel like debugging it, so I just went with the MySQL beta. My biggest caveat. So again, it works as advertised. If you want to get a application up and running on the internet, a Laravel application up and running on the internet very quickly, use this. Like, there's no reason not to. It's so stupid simple. I probably won't use. I'm not sure if we would use this professionally, because there are a lot. I don't know how to do certain things. Like, you do see your database credentials if you know where to go to look for them, but I still don't know if I have actual access to the database. I don't know if I can physically touch my database, which in a professional environment you will do. You can talk all the shit about it that you want to talk about it. You're going to touch your database. You're going to look, you're going to run custom queries, you're going to do that shit.
Right.
I still don't know if I can get touch the servers. Like, and that's like, I think the point of this is so you don't have to. But I don't hire people like Joe, so I don't have to. I hire people like Joe because I need to. And yeah, so it's I have some playing to do around. I still have some playing to do around with it, and I will share information as I come to it. But as far as like doing an in-depth review for everybody, again, there's no reason for that. You can get on here, you can mess with it. It doesn't cost you anything. Just be careful. Certain things do cost money. Like if you want to add caching, if you want to add cloud storage, there is a base you have to pay. But and that's, I mean, you see here in the video on the left hand side, you're already getting DDoS protection, edge caching. I mean, there's just a lot of things that especially if you're a single developer who don't want to fall into the thing we fell into as Diego Dev, where we're selling ourselves as a development team and then we end up managing servers. If you don't want to manage servers, yes, 100% get on board with this. It's I've played around. And this isn't unique to Laravel Cloud. There's a lot of products out there that do something similar that even expand past PHP. But as far as PHP goes, as far as Laravel goes, out of the box, obviously this is going to be your best experience because coming from the people at Laravel. All right, something else you should check on before you move forward is how you're doing monitoring. And with that, we will bring you back to our friends over at honeybadger.io.
When your app breaks in production, you want to quickly understand and fix it, not sift through logs for the next hour. That's where Honeybadger comes in. Honeybadger notifies you of errors, outages, and performance issues as they occur and helps you respond instantly when your systems go down. When you need to dig deeper, Honeybadger's advanced query engine helps you reach into your logs and grab just the information you need. With error tracking, performance and uptime monitoring, log management, and support for over 10 languages, Honeybadger is the best tool to gain real-time insights into your application's health and performance. Best of all, it's free to get started, and setup takes less than 5 minutes. Be sure to bookmark honeybadger.io. That's www.honeybadger.io.
Thank you, Honeybadger.
Honeybadger. All right. If I timed you out on Twitch, it's because I'm an old man, and when I start seeing a bunch of random emojis or whatever, I think it's just spam, and I was just timing you out. I'm sorry.
Nuno is one of those people. We're talking shit about his boss, and what's happening. No, we weren't talking shit about your boss.
We got a raid from someone?
We've been raided?
Oh, then I'm even more sorry for
I feel naughty.
Yeah.
Dirk ZZ.
Yeah. I'm an old man. I don't understand.
I've been raided. No, I appreciate that. I assume that was Nuno that raided us? Was it Nuno? It had to be Nuno. He's the only one that would have the balls to raid us.
Can I undo that? I don't know.
What did you do, John?
I started timing out people.
Why did you time?
Because I don't know how Twitch works. And if you look in
Nuno. Thank you, Nuno.
If you look in our Discord, you just start seeing a bunch of gobbledygook.
I like your gobbledygook.
Yeah.
Welcome everybody who is experience the joy of what we refer to as the PHP podcast for the first time.
Old men using Twitch. Yeah, the title bot is not running, but
oh my God, you're so right. It's not. I totally. You guys are.
It's A Woods it said it.
Thank you, A Woods. I will take care of that right now. Actually, yeah. Larry, what? A couple of things aren't running. Actually, now that you mention it,
the show notes aren't posting over.
Yep, I'm taking care of that right now too. So yeah, Laravel Cloud. I mean, very clean, very easy to use, up and running in like. If I say 5 minutes, I'm probably overestimating how long it took my application to from zero to deployed. I'm because like your entire I mean, you have access to your .env environment, but for like a out of the box Laravel deploy, you don't even touch your env file. Like it just creates it all by itself. It's magic.
Really?
Yeah, so like all your database connections, all your caching, everything, it creates all that. It is very well done. And you're like I said, if you're in the Laravel world, you're not going to get a better experience. Not even close. So, and it's free. There's a free tier. I do strongly encourage you to take advantage of the free tier. Why it's a thing, because who knows how long those last.
So we need to learn about Twitch. I guess we are emote only. We don't allow commenting, so we need to fix that. If I did time you out, it turns out you can request to unbe timed out, and I can unban you. I can do that.
Yeah, honestly,
and I will learn more about Twitch.
I honestly forgot about Twitch. I was big on Twitch for a very long time because you had a lot of good developers streaming on Twitch. A lot. That's where I learned about the Primogen. Actually, I stumbled on him and got into a whole NeoVim community on Twitch.
Mm-hmm.
But it seemed to have slowed down a lot, and I just really stopped. I'm not a gamer. Yeah, I just stopped going to Twitch. Not to knock Twitch. You guys are good people. All right.
PHP Tech.
PHP Tech.
What do we got going on there? Any new news?
New news?
I want to reiterate, come to PHP Tech. Attendees will get
the elephant.
A new elephant.
Are we calling him Tony yet?
Yes, Tony. We'll call him Tony.
Tony's his name. There we go. That was a long time.
Sure.
Yeah.
His name is Tony. Tony can be yours by attending PHP Tech. Go to phptech.io. And actually, if you're watching right now, I got a little discount for our little discount for our podcast.
Yes, PHP Podcast .tech tech. You have to watch the video podcast to get the rest.
Go to the 46-minute mark. You'll find it.
Awful person, John. I think
why is it link so long?
That's what she said. I don't know. Why did you make it so long?
I don't know. I just did. phpa.me/PHP podcast -tech-discount. Get yourself 10% off today.
Yeah.
I don't think still lots of planning going on.
Right? Well, not really. What's planning? What are we planning? It's happening.
It's happening. Sorry, I got loud kids that just got home.
No worries.
We what else do we want to talk about? I want to talk about we are going to try hiring for a new position.
Well, hold on. Before you move on from tech, hold on. Holy smokes.
You said we had nothing to talk about.
No. So if you are into the plushy elephant world, there's actually going to be somebody at Tech who's like the head herder as far as I'm concerned.
Damien, right there.
Yes,
On the left.
Damien. He's speaking
He-
at Tech. He's not coming for the elephant, although he would be the guy who would show up just for the elephant. Damien is going to be there, and he if you don't live in the U.S., especially if you live over in the EU, right? He's in the EU.
Yeah.
Especially if you live over the EU, this is the friend you want to have, is Damien, because this guy will smuggle elephants into the. No, smuggle is probably a bad word. He arranges the delivery of elephants through any means necessary, and he's a fun guy to work with.
And he knows all the customs laws of how many you can bring at a single time through customs without getting in trouble.
This is very true. Yeah. So Damien's there, big elephant guy. He's trying to coordinate a kind of a elephant family reunion.
Family picture.
Family picture, yeah. So it'll be interesting to see if that becomes anything. But yeah. So yeah, come to Tech. Everybody's up. We do still officially have one spot open that may get claimed by a sponsor. If not, we will fill it. But besides that, everything else is filled. We have this one little 4 o'clock open still. But everything else is only two keynotes.
Opening and closing. Yep.
Opening and closing keynote. And exciting Tessa. If you're not familiar with who Tessa is, look them up on Google. They have their own podcast. Great developer, funny person. Has some great interviews. You want to check them out for sure.
Yep, and their website is built BUILT4FOR.dev. Built for dev.
Built for FOR, right? Dev.
Yep.
.dev. Yeah, built for .dev. Here we go.
Yeah. Let me. I'll throw it in the show notes just since we're talking about her.
Please do. Yeah.
And give a little love back.
Yep. All right, Mr. Spoiler. We're hiring. We just hired.
No spoiler. We did just hire. We're toying with the idea of this position. We need help with sales, not coding. We need somebody that knows how to sell advertising, both in the magazine and drum up sponsors for our conference. It is a daunting task. I do the best I can with reaching out to sponsors. Eric and I do the best we can with talking to sponsors for advertising purposes and the conference. But we're toying around with the idea of hiring a part-time person that is willing to spend some amount of time devoted to reaching out and, bringing in advertisers, and we're open to some sort of pay structure, whether it's straight hourly pay or some sort of commission structure. We're open to talking about it, trying to figure out what would work for both parties. So if you're interested, let us know.
Yeah, for sure.
Obviously, having a sales background would help a lot. Because trust me, I try getting on the phone to call people and it doesn't go well.
Well, people don't like you, John.
I'm very unlikable. Doesn't help when I call them by the wrong name.
Yeah. I'm kind of in the same boat. Speaking of being unlikable and talking to people, I'll be at Scale here.
A week from this weekend. So
this weekend,
March 7th.
Yeah. So I don't really know what days I'm going. I'm definitely not going for the whole thing. I'm leaning towards to just going on Saturday, but I might go on Friday. I don't know yet. But if you're in Southern California, or if you happen to be at Scale, and hit me up on one of the social medias, and we'll get together, grab a drink, and have a chat. It's just an open source thing. If you're not familiar with it, it's not even solely a developer thing. I don't even know if there's a developer track. Everybody says we should try to bring a PHP track to it, but I don't know. I don't have that. It's too close to tech. I don't need to be giving away any free talks, man. But yeah, it's in Pasadena, here in Southern California. So let me know if you'll be around. I would love to meet you, meet and greet, and say hello. Oh boy, man. All right. What else we got going on?
Oh, I'm sure plenty.
Okay, so we talked about WordPress.
We did talk about
Can I
WordPress.
talk about things?
You can talk about things.
All right. All right. So we got to talk about politics a little bit. Unfortunately, not super happy about it, but we're talking about our WordPress site, and it turned out we have a interesting dynamic here in the U.S. currently, as far as government goes and efficiency and all of that. Not going to choose sides. Going to say one side is very wrong with how they're doing things, and one side is, not. But you can make that determination who's wrong, who's not wrong. But Elon Musk has interjected himself into American politics in a very, very, very wrong way. And it raises a lot of concerns, because one of the things this country is found on is people being accountable. So especially when you talk about government, people have to be vetted. People have to have security clearance. Hell, you have to have a certain amount of security clearance to work for us, and we're not even the government. But you have to be vetted. You have to be, depending on your role, confirmed, and a lot of these things aren't being adhered to. But the big thing that Elon Musk's been doing is this government efficiency, and they brought up a website called waste.gov, which I guess has always been a website. I don't think it's new. And it turned out that they were using a default WordPress template for the sites. So much so that they even had like a lot of the default WordPress images on it. So if you have to go to the archive version to see it now. But if you go to the archive version, like a lot of stuff, if you know WordPress, this is like the standard WordPress template that gets released, and it's just hysterical. So as it turns out, it's now been hidden behind this is what waste.gov does now. You have to have a password to get in, because they've hidden it. So yeah, working on websites isn't so easy. And even the smartest man in the world, so as he likes to think of himself, has issues with it as well. So yeah, interesting things going on with between that and some other things. Like I don't even want to get into everything else. It's been very weird. They brought up a site to show their okay, I gotta bring this up now, just because it's so basic. Oh god, I hate talking about politics. I feel dirty already. So they brought up a site, Doge, which is the Department of Government Efficiency. Haha, it's a meme because it's also a Bitcoin. It's so many levels of cool. God. Anyways, Doge was posting what the money they were recouping and things like that. And they made the most basic mistake, that their database was writable from the website. Like no authentication, no anything. And it just got hammered. I even went there to look at it and say, this can't be real. And it was very much real. I don't know what. Oh, here's some screenshots from it. Yeah. It just, people just started filling in the website with whatever they wanted. And this was being written to a database because nobody bothered to lock it down. It's Now, when I say it's difficult being a developer, I'm not saying this is, because this is basic shit. And yeah, it's painful. Have you been following any of this, John?
No, I try not to.
Well, it's hysterical from the position we're in what we do for a living, right? Because the problems they're facing is just like, yeah, that's funny. One of the things that one of the issues that they had, Elon went on this rant about how the Social Security, we were paying out Social Security checks for people who were 150 years old.
Yeah.
And it turns out, people were very quick to correct him. It's like, no, the Social Security system is a COBOL system. It doesn't have a date time type. It doesn't have that. So they do their own calculations, and if something's empty, it just calculates the furthest date, which is today 150 years.
Right.
Just, oh my gosh, dude.
Yeah, I did see that in I forget where I saw it. Some video online.
Yeah. There's just so many bad things out there, and it's cool because it's bringing light to what we deal with in our industry. I mean, when I say we, I mean everybody listening to the show probably on a daily basis. It's like it's this never-ending assault on our work, and making sure things are secure, making sure you're taking in all the considerations. Like, before I became a developer, you think I ever cared about time zones? I didn't care about time zones.
Right.
If I was worried about even the East Coast, between West Coast and East Coast, I was only worried about the East Coast if I was calling somebody. But we have to think on a global level, and it's
That's
funny
not easy.
things that pop up. It's funny the things that pop up. And so it's cool seeing so much. I mean, cool and not cool. It sucks that it's happening, but it's cool seeing these things come to surface with who's being touted as. And I'm not talking about an individual now. I'm talking about a group of people who've been touted as the cream of the crop in computer science, and they're making some of the most basic mistakes. So. All right, that's it.
I feel their pain.
I need to take a
mistakes
shower.
I'm making.
Uh,
you brought up like you only thought about East Coast when you're thinking phones. Now it's so difficult to deal with it because you have your phone number for life, and if you move to a different time zone, your area code no longer represents your area that you came from.
Mm-hmm.
And that's going to be very interesting on how you deal with that moving, into the future, because so many companies that text or make phone calls are trying to, one, they want to be respectful of time. Like, they don't call a specific time zone based on the time they think you're in. But I often get phone calls before, 8 a.m. because they think, well, no, not now with the number I used to have, because they thought I was still in Florida.
Mm-hmm. That makes sense. I forgot all about that.
Yeah. So it's just an interesting dynamic that will change over time, and be interesting to see how it plays out as we keep moving forward.
Yeah. All right. I think that's pretty much all I have. You got anything you want to touch on?
Nah. Nope. Actually need to get running out today anyway. I promised my son I would take him out before my my bowling night.
You got bowling tonight?
I have bowling tonight. I do.
Do you rub your ball?
Aggressively.
I'd like to hear. All right. I think that'll do it for this week's show. Nuno, thanks for briefly hanging out with us. Doesn't look like you're with us anymore. And
that's because somebody banned him. I'm sorry.
Everybody who came over with Nuno, hope you think about joining us next week, Thursday, 3 p.m. Pacific time. Speaking of time zones, we're here pretty much every week. And pop into our Discord. If you're a PHP developer, pop into our Discord, discord.phparch.com. Bunch of great people in there. And until then, I guess we will see you next week.
Thank you.
Wait, I need to. Do we have an outro here?
I don't know.
Did I run Honey Badger? I ran Honey Badger, right?
Yep.
Okay.
You did.
All right. Peace out.
If you didn't.
This has been PHP Podcast, the official podcast of PHP Architect, the industry's leading tech magazine and publisher, focused on PHP and web development. Subscribe today at phparch.com to see what the leaders in the community and industry are talking about.